Hey, thanks for joining me today. I'm Abby, and these are my on-demand videos here at Fit House in Denver. Today, what I want to take you through is some stretch work for the lower body. I just got done taking a quads and guts class here at Fit House in the other room. So my quads are feeling some work, my core got some work. I also took some other lower body classes here earlier in the week, so it's about time that I show my legs, my hammies, my glutes some love and give them some restorative stretching. So hopefully that's why you've joined me today. You also want to work on some of that stretching, flexibility, and just relaxation for the lower body. Before we get going, you do have a couple pieces of equipment that I'll recommend. A block would be great. Okay, if you're at home and you don't have one of these, just anything that can add a little extra height. Maybe it's a pillow, some books, anything that can, help prop you up a little bit if you're not ready to fully fold forward in some of our poses. I've got a stretching strap here. It's basically just a long strap. You could use a belt, you could use a towel. Maybe you won't end up needing to use anything at all, but these are two things that I'm going to use to help me out today. And one last little disclaimer, I would recommend that you do this video warm. So great to do after you've already done a workout. It could be great to do even if you've just been out and busy all day, walking around, you've been active, you haven't just been sitting, so you're not quote unquote cold, okay? Even if you were here at the gym and you just sat in the sauna for a while and you still want to do some restorative work, this is great to do after a sauna session. So make sure you're warm, grab your few pieces of equipment, and we're gonna start right here on the floor, okay? So I'm gonna take my right leg first, cross it over my left, and try to put both sits bones onto the floor, okay? It's a little tough to do, but from there, we'll hug that right leg into the chest as tight as possible. Also trying to keep that right hip anchored into the floor. So we don't want to pick it up here like this. Drop that right hip down. You'll feel a stretch through the right hip. And you'll probably also feel some compression in the front of that right hip joint. All of those things are common, they're welcome, and they're good. Okay. So while you're here, take a few deep breaths. Try to expand your lungs as much as possible. And then release. You can also feel your rib cage expanding. The lungs move the ribs. So let that happen. On your next inhale, I want you to get even taller in your spine, right? Think about the crown of the head growing up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, we're going to start to twist to the right side. All right, all on your exhale. Once again, when you're ready for that inhale, lengthen the spine, grow a little taller. And as you exhale, deepen your twist. We'll do that a third time. Inhale to lift. Exhale. Deepest twist you've got. Gently bring yourself back to the center, and then just one quick counter twist the opposite direction. And we'll switch sides. So all we're doing here is loosening up the spine a little bit before we get into the legs and the lower body. So this time left leg is crossed over, hugging it into the chest without adding any rotation first. All right, I'm trying to keep my sits bones on the floor, trying to lift up the rest of my body, right? Create space between each vertebra, almost like a puppet string was lifting me out of the crown of my head. Taking a few deep breaths here. Maybe notice if one side is tighter than the other, right? Is your left hip tighter than your right hip, or vice versa? Doesn't mean anything's wrong. Just means it's different. All good. All right, on this inhale, we start to lengthen the spine. And on the next exhale, we'll add the rotation, add the twist. Go as far as you can in one breath. Then again, you'll get taller as you inhale. Exhale, deepen your twist. There's going to be a tendency to sink a little bit as you twist. So that's why every time we take that inhale again, you're thinking about just realigning that height that you gained for your inhale. Last exhale. and then bring it back. All right. So uncrossing the legs, we're gonna get into a quad stretch first. So I'm gonna bring my right heel next to my right butt cheek and then take the arms behind me. I'm gonna start leaning back, okay? Get all the other stuff out of the way. This might be enough for you right here, and that's fine, okay? As you lean back, all of this tissue in the thigh is going to start to stretch. So that's where you should be feeling stuff. If this doesn't give you anything yet, you can drop down to the elbows, okay? If you don't feel anything yet from here, slightly different approach, okay? Sure, you could lay down on the floor, but that's a little more passive than I want for now. Instead, I want you to think, push the hip forward and drive the knee down into the floor. Okay, this is if you don't feel anything from just hanging out down here already. Okay, so hip was gonna push forward, maybe a little squeeze in the booty, and then the knee goes down towards the ground. You should definitely feel an intense stretch through that quad here. And you know I'm gonna give you more. So if you're still not feeling enough, okay, say you're a Gumby and you need a little bit more stretch, yeah, you can lay down. And you could also pull your left leg into your chest, as long as this knee doesn't come off the ground. Okay, so mine kind of did. I'm gonna coax it back down to the floor and hang out here. Now, I guess you guys know at this point, I'm pretty effing stretchy, okay? So I'm not expecting this to be something that General Pop can do, sure? Even I get something out of being up here. So if this is where you're hanging out, cool, stay here. Maybe enjoy watching my Cirque du Soleil moves or whatever. But we're gonna chill here for a little bit. Quick side note, if anyone trying this at home or wherever, if you're starting to feel a lot of pain in the knee, like the joint itself, I would recommend coming out of this stretch, okay? You could fast forward through this portion of the video or just pull yourself out of the range of motion that gives you pain. I do want to focus on stretching muscular tissue, not so much joints. So I'm not looking to stretch your tendons, your ligaments right now. Let's take another big deep breath here. And exhale it out. We'll gently rock and roll somehow out of that stretch. Bring the legs in front of you and just give them a little wiggle from side to side. Okay. And we're gonna keep going with that right leg. Now, we're gonna pull it in the front and extend the left leg nice and long. Okay, I'm gonna keep thinking about this right side, even though we're gonna get a little bit of work in that left leg too. So from here, the sole of the foot touches the inner thigh. Again, I'm gonna sit up nice and tall, make sure my hips are even, and start to walk my body forward, okay? This is where you can start to use your props if you need. Maybe you need a strap to hook around the foot and help pull your body to the front. Maybe you'd rather have a block to rest your hands on or rest your head on, if this is what we're doing. Have some of those props close by to help you get comfortable in this position now. If you'll notice on the video, my back is pretty flat, if not a little bit arched down here. Try to avoid this granny spine, okay? That's part of why this strap is helpful or holding the foot is helpful, so that you can pull your back into a more extended position. Yeah, you might be feeling some things in this hip. You can be feeling things in the lower back here on that right side. And of course, I told you, the back of the left leg might be getting a little bit of stretch as well. So hang out here. I'm gonna stop running my mouth for a second and just let everybody breathe and relax. Take about another 3 slow, deep breaths in this position. Try not to rush. On your next inhale, maybe use your hands to slowly walk you back up to the top, back to your seated position. Next, we're going to move into figure 4. Right leg is going to be the leg that gets stretched. So my right ankle is going to cross over the left knee, and we're going to gently push the chest, arch the back, and try to press yourself closer to your shin. All the while, the shin doesn't want to get too close to the chest. Okay, so a little bit of opposition is going to help us feel a good stretch through the right hip. Okay, we've done this in class a lot, but it'll be nice to spend a little bit more time here. Maybe gently move the stretch. Find a line of stretch that feels good for you. For me today, it happens to be right in the middle, so I'm going to hang out here. Again, I want to give some of you options to move forward if this isn't giving you enough stretch. So progression from this position would be to stack the shins one on top of the other, right? I'm not trying to go into a cross-legged position, and I'm bringing my foot over top of my knee and my knee over top of the other foot. So hopefully you can see that from here. And from this position, you're going to take a forward fold. So we're really going to walk it forward, lean the body. This is a time when I want my block. I'm going to rest my head and start to breathe. Remember, alternately, if this is not a comfortable position for you, you're hanging out in your figure 4 stretch. If you like pigeon pose, that's another one you could do from here. And just like before, we're just going to spend some time, relax, let the body start to accept this position. All right, you might start to hear some of the same tips over and over again while you're watching these videos that we're all starting to put out. But it does take the body about 90 seconds to 2 minutes in a stretched position for the tissue to understand that the pose that it's in is safe. So what happens when we go into a stretch, the whole reflex that you get of why it feels tight is because you're pulling the muscle tissue into a position that's more lengthened than normal, and naturally your body goes, whoa, 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 whoa. That's not cool. I need to hold on tighter so that it doesn't rip, right? So it tries to protect you, which is awesome. But we also know that we're not just gonna break if we fall into a controlled stretch. So if you put yourself in a place that you can manage, that you can handle that sensation of stretch, after 90 seconds to 2 minutes, the nervous system understands that it's not in danger. So it understands that you're not going to get hurt by being in an extended position, and you start to teach your body that you can be here. So that's why we're going to hang out a little bit longer today. All right, hopefully I talked for about 90 seconds to 2 minutes on that one. At this point, you should feel a little bit more comfortable in your position, in your stretch. If that's the case, can you deepen the position? And stay here for 3 more deep breaths. On your inhale, after that third one, walk yourselves back up to the top and gently uncross the legs or unfold them. Okay? Just go ahead and rock yourself from side to side on those legs. We're going to go ahead and take a big inhale, reaching the arms up. Fall forward over the legs as you exhale. When you're ready to take an inhale again, just bring the body back upright, roll through that spine. Inhale to lift. Exhale, fold forward.
2 more.
Inhale, lift. Flexing the feet or pointing the feet. Last one.
Roll it gently back up
Up to the top, and we're going to repeat those things on the second side. Okay, so left leg this time. We are going to bend, right, so that the left heel comes close to the left booty cheek. Clear out your space behind you and start to lean back. Okay, first line of defense, hands on the floor. Do you feel enough stretch through the front of your thigh and through the hip flexor? If the answer is yes, you stay right here. If the answer is no, drop yourself down onto your forearms. Take a second. Maybe it's not so intense at first, but the longer you sit here, it gets acceptably challenging. Yeah? If your answer is still no, though, what we do next is squeeze the glute, push the hip up, and drive the knee down into the floor. Okay, this will intensify the stretch on your quadricep. And then if you still need more, lay all the way down, grab onto your left leg. Wait a minute, I'm all switched around. Your right leg. So check this out. In real life, this is my left leg, but I'm trying to mirror things for you to make it easier for you. You're welcome. Yeah, grab onto your right leg, pull it into your chest, and make sure that you're not cheating like I am, and that right, left, holy cow, left leg doesn't come off the floor. So let's hang out here. 90 seconds to 2 minutes. Let your nervous system reset a little bit. Also, with every exhale, can you sink a little bit heavier into the floor? Surrender some of your tension. I'll go ahead and take 3 more big, slow, deep breaths, trying not to rush. Every inhale will completely fill the lungs and the rib cage. Maybe even holding on full for a moment or two. And then the exhale is the opposite, so empty as much of the air as you can. One more time. On this last exhale, find a comfortable way to sit back up. We're going to fold your left foot into the right inner thigh. Extend the right leg. Grab onto whatever props you used on the other side. Then we're going to sit up tall. All right. Think about that spine lengthening just the way we did in the rotations in the beginning of this video. And then start leaning forward. Maybe the hamstring will be what stops you. Maybe the hip's going to be what stops you. Everyone's going to have a different limiting factor, and that's A-okay. Just got to know your body. It might even feel different from day to day. Try not to round your back, okay? So notice I keep pulling forward, but that's because I'm still able to maintain that flat back, that extended spine. And for me, I'm getting a big stretch back here in my lower waist. It's a muscle we call the QL, or the quadratus lumborum. So that's where I'm getting this stretch right now. Now I'll give you the option to relax the spine. Okay, maybe you need this guy, something to prop your head up on. You'll relax that head all the way over. I don't need it.
And this is where you can round your back. What I tend to do as I'm getting comfortable here is I can feel some tension melting away, and that's why I fidget to get into a more comfortable position that's going to allow me just to rest. Okay? So if you do need to make certain tweaks to this pose as you stay here and try to find relaxation, that's okay. Two more breaths. And this time we'll use the following inhale to help walk you back up.
Take your time, move slow, make sure you don't get lightheaded with this. And we're moving into an outer glute stretch, right? So left ankle over right knee, find that figure 4. Okay, everybody's gonna start here and assess how you feel. Do you need to wiggle a little bit from side to side? Do you just need to hang out in one spot? Things are feeling good, and we wanna move on to an intensified position of stretch. We'll take the shin stack. So again, that's foot over knee, knee over foot. Shins should be in a nice parallel line. And I've got a little bit of space here. This is another way we could use the block. You always want to have something supporting you when you are stretching. So a block could go here. You could spend some time just trying to let that joint open up a little bit, let gravity help you some. So whatever feels good for you. I know for me that as I lean forward, that space is going to close anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and start walking it forward and taking this into my extended pose where I'm going to rest for the next 90 seconds to 2 minutes. I'm starting to settle in a little bit better. So now I'm increasing my range, finding a little bit more tension in my muscles, seeking more stretch, seeking more range of motion. About 3 more breaths. Again, to come out of this position, if you are forward folded, use your hands to help walk you back up to the top. Take your time. Stretch it out nice and slow. And then just like before, we'll finish it off with one more thing, which is going to be that straight leg forward fold. So I'm going to recommend everybody gets that block out, something to support yourself once we get into our final position, because we'll be holding that for longer this time. So 3 times, we're going to inhale, lift, exhale, fold forward as far as you can. On your inhale, stack your spine, sequence as you roll back up. Inhale, lift, create space. Keep that space as you reach as far forward over your toes as you can. Release it to roll back up. Third time for us, we're gonna stay forward. Okay. So stay at your lowest point. Let your head rest on something. Okay. If that something isn't high enough, I know very well we could be here. We're like, what am I gonna do? It's gonna hurt a lot. You can place something on top of your legs. You can stack your hands and try to rest here. Okay? So find something that's going to allow you to not support your own head with your neck. Look at this good position I'm in right now. Feeling great. So find a way that you can press the weight of your head, let it rest against a surface, whether that's your legs, a block, a pillow, a stack of books, whatever that is for you. Our goal here is to not have to hold up your own body weight. Surrender to gravity. Let the muscles of your back melt away around your spine, almost like waterfalls falling down the side of your rib cage. Let the bones of the legs sink into the floor. Muscles are melting off around the bones. Like before, as you settle into your stretch, you can change positions. You can change the height of your block. We'll hang out here for about 5 more big breaths. Let's use this last deep breath to fill the space in the back of the lungs, the back of the rib cage. Expand. Exhale. And then gently bring yourselves back upright. Seated position. Take a moment if your eyes were closed to let the light back in. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more restored than you did at the beginning of this video. Remember, you can come back and visit this at any time. But thanks for joining me today. Hope you feel a little bit better than you did when you started. Come see me again.